Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I will be doing a bit of a different type of video, as I was just trying to push my tick because he's currently my lowest trophy brawler. I wanted to try out a bit of a goofy build. I pretty much always play well oiled and last hurrah, but I wanted to try out his other gadget and star power along with the +1 gear on him since I wanted to do it in heist. And overall I was very surprised by how well it did in that game. So I wanted to try him out in several modes just to see how good this unusual build is. But for now, let's hop into the first game. For these games, I'll be commenting on the replays because for one, I'm not that good at live commentary, and two, it allows me to have a better understanding of the games in review. But for the first one, this is actually the replay that made me want to do this video, as we pretty much have this Melody trapped in a corner for most of the game. And thanks to the extra reload from the star power and area denial from the gadget, we can occasionally stop the Colt and Jesse from pushing up to help out our teammates while still having this Melody locked down. And here, unfortunately, our teammates do feed the Jesse a hypercharge and go down, but even with their push, we do fortunately only take 12% and are able to push them back into their spawn. Additionally, our M somehow is able to dodge most of these shots and get into a really good position on their safe, and despite us being washed down by this Melody, she does play it kind of badly, and we are able to stay alive against her. And then again here somehow we are able to stay alive against the Colt as he kind of just runs back into our mine, and it's from that point on while I was like they were kind of playing on full tilt and just trying to wedge me down to kill me, so they weren't really playing for objective anymore. And despite this hypercharge being kind of scary, the whole team was kind of low health, so they couldn't really do much with it. So while they're slowly chipping it down, we're able to push the Colt back out with our super and let our teammates deal with the Melody. And again, I don't really see a way they can come back from this. So I kind of just have all my attention on the Colt and Jesse pushing them back. And this is the moment where I actually feel like I made my best play, where I was able to get a double hypercharge tick head on the Melody and Colt, and then also get another one onto the safe. Yeah, overall, despite having M's and tick on heist, this game really gave me hope for this build. So for now, we'll be moving on to the next two games in Brawl. These next games I don't think are as good at showcasing how good the build is, as I don't really think you could be playing Tick in Brawl, or you should be, but this just so happens to be a pretty decent map for him, and we got really good teammates. And it's actually here why I made my first major mistake with this build. I probably should have just passed the ball to Fang, but I'm so used to the well-oiled healing to the point I thought I would heal up in time to score, which caused me to throw a potential goal. But again, we just had really good teammates this match, so we still managed to get the score anyway later on, and shortly after, a second one too, thanks to our Piper popping off. The second game I feel showcases just how vulnerable you are, as the moment our Buzz Lightyear goes down, we just get pushed back and they get a very fast score. But again, this is lateral and I got blessed by the RNG to get this really good B on my team, so we were able to get 2 quick team wipes on respawn and win again. So after this, I quickly found out that at least for this build, you really just need someone on your team who is good at handling all the aggression, which I definitely learned to a greater extent when we swapped over to our next games in Gem Grab. Starting out here in Gem Grab, we pretty much immediately get washed down by the Buzz Lightyear, but our Nita is able to push him back out. And as a whole, looking back on these gem games, I definitely feel like I didn't play this build as good as I could have, but I feel like having at least one bad teammate is enough for this build to fall apart in this mode. As we will see, Anita kind of just roams around the entire map trying to fight, which leaves us very susceptible to any form of aggression, as we have no one playing one of the lanes at all times. And I definitely overextended a bit here, allowing the Melody to get super off of me and the Rico for free. But again, later on, Anita kind of just runs into her face and dies, which lets the Buzz Lightyear super in on me for pretty much free. To which I probably should have just held on to my super, but luckily our Rico was able to clean up and get all the gems. Here, I didn't see if the Angelo had jumped back forward or backwards into the bushes, so I'm checking to make sure I don't get one shot by our damaged gear Angelo. But Melody still rushes in to get hyper off of us, but luckily our Rico is able to stay alive again and continue carrying us through this game. And here, I simultaneously made my best and worst move of the game, as I'm able to get a really good hyper tick head onto their team to take down the Angelo, but at the same time it gives Buzz Lightyear his super through his tank trait, which allows him to super into our Rico for free, and maybe a better tick player would have been able to take him down here, but unfortunately we end up losing to the Team Gem Dive. And yeah, looking back, if we had held on to our tick head again for the Buzz Lightyear Super, we could have prevented the flip, but just those few mistakes with the build can cause the whole game to become a loss due to how easy it is to be taken down. But now on to the second game. In the second game, we unfortunately did get the Nita again, along with another Thrower and Berry against two really aggro brawlers in Jackie and Fang. And throughout this game, you can kind of just see how we don't really have anyone who can deal with them, as my teammates kind of just run into their face a majority of the time, which causes us to always be at the mercy of the Jackie or Fang. And yeah, overall it ends up just being a pretty sloppy game in general, where we weren't able to really get too much map control. So I don't really feel the need to show the entire game, but yeah, we just lost it pretty handedly. So for now, I decided to move on into Bounty. Starting off in Bounty, I was feeling way better, as despite almost going down multiple times, tick is still tick. So in this mode, we are able to just play at an extreme range. Usually you would just want to slowly zone the opponents into the spawn, but we had a very aggressive Buzz Lightyear on our team, so I decided to just play the very beginner tick strat of just spamming shots behind my opponents, so they are forced to push into us and engage with the Buzz. And thanks to our Piper getting two very nice takedowns here on both the Spike and Gray, we were able to pretty much just dive in and establish a spawn trap that would go on to win us the game. Here in the final two modes of Bounty and Knockout, I wasn't able really to give too much commentary additionally, as it's pretty much what you would expect, the really passive build works in the really passive modes. Unfortunately, I was only able to show you guys the first Bounty game and the second Knockout game, as the other Knockout and Bounty games had AFK teammates or opponents in them, which unfortunately is the case for a lot of ladder games below 1000 trophies, at least in my experience. But overall, after playing this build in several modes, I feel like it's decent, but definitely not better than the standard build. Additionally, I rarely found any use for the extra gadget from the gadget gear, so I feel like the standard shield and mythic gear are still way better, as the extra HP you get helps Tick stay alive and his head stay alive. Additionally, whether I won or lost didn't really feel like it was because of how good or bad I was playing, but rather based on how good or bad the teammates I get in war, and if they were able to defend for me. As I would assume outside of any form of coordinated play, this build just allows you to die with any small mistake, so I don't really see the average player getting too much value out of it. But yeah, overall this build is really fun, but I still be using Well Oiled Lazoir, the mythic gear and the shield gear pretty much all the time. Maybe a better tick player would be able to make that build work, as again, I'm not the best tick player, there's a reason he's my lowest trophy brawler, but for me it wasn't as reliable. But that's about all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think and what other random builds I should do in the future, and thank you for your time.